Okay, we're live. A little bit earlier this time, which is, I guess, a rarity for me. Anyways, this is day 126 of studying compilers every day until I land a compiler role. I'm a little bit tired today because I might have played a lot of Minecraft last night and stayed up a little bit too late. So, yeah, that's the New Year's experience, I guess. Last time we messed around with the README and we fixed a a seg fault in our memtoreg implementation. So now all of the stuff runs at least, which is good. This time we're gonna mess around with parallel copies. I need to figure out how these work, what their semantics are, and I guess how to turn them into just regular sequential copies. What's good, John? I haven't seen you in a while. How many microservices? Zero. Zero? Zero. Yeah. You could, I don't know, depending on how vaguely you want to define a microservice, you could probably extend that out to much more than zero, but yeah. Anyways. Okay, so I guess, where do we want to put parallel? Do you want to put parallel copies? 0, 0, 1. Yeah. It's all 0. Always has been. Okay. ADO step functions, true. Okay. So where do we even want to put SSA destruction? I guess this is like in tree gen, right? When we, yeah, like in this sort of area. I guess it's this, maybe? Oh, but this is a mess. Yeah, this doesn't really map very well. I guess maybe I could just make a parallel copy thing in the middle end? It's kind of gross, but I guess what can you do? Okay, well, anyway. Worst possible mistake you can possibly make? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like microservices have, or at least them as just like a general idea, have fallen out a little bit recently. It's just kind of interesting to follow everything as people realize that they are in fact not a great idea. This is very annoying. There's not a great way to represent a parallel copy. Where do I even put this? Like, presumably it's in the back end, but there's not really a good spot for this either, which causes a little bit of headache. At least 7. We have 6 engineers. That's rough. I feel like they're better when my monitor just turned off. I feel like they're a little bit better when there's less people, because then like there's less slush to, or I guess like everyone knows everything a little bit better. But that's just like usual like agile theory, right? Because they don't want to deal with merge conflicts. That actually makes a lot of sense. I never thought about that, but I guess that's fair. But then like people make like duplicative ones, and then like all of a sudden it's like, all of a sudden you make a mess and it's just awful. Okay, so how am I even doing this again? So we split all the critical edges. It's not fair. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Okay, we should probably make a... Maybe we just make like a feed instruction and then like... No, but then we... Okay. How do I want to do this? Yeah, this is awful. This is awful to architect. Yeah, the exponential explosion is it's quite rough, yeah. Where actually though, where do I put this? I think it has to be in like the middle end. But that's like awful because we don't have a copy or anything. Like we have this. Okay. Okay, when in doubt, I guess we can just throw it at ChatGPT and call it a day. Where do I make parallel copies? Okay, well that doesn't help. That really doesn't help me. Okay, we're gonna... what do I even do here? Because this does not keep info about the basic block, I think. Alright, does it? It keeps next block. That doesn't really help me. I guess we could take like current block even. Yeah, we could just throw more parameters at... more private fields at it and call it a day. This really sucks. I'm gonna need to redesign so much stuff. No type safety, additional repos, additional deployments, no standard log. Yeah, it's actually quite ridiculous. I imagine there's like it seemed like a great idea at first, but then like it turns out that complexity is complexity at the end of the day, I guess. Like that is just life. Okay, where the hell do I put this? Maybe something in here? I guess we could make like a thing here somewhere. But that doesn't really work. Ugh. We might just want to make a pass or something. And then like, Okay, I could just make it an SSA instruction, or I guess MIR instruction. Stick it at the end of the predecessor block, maybe. Like an anti-fee, almost. So like, what would the semantics of that look like? It would just be like, I guess it just takes whatever. Instead of, so like with the fee, we have like value equals like branch value pair. So then we can do like, we could do just like a collection of, I guess value pair. That's really awkward. Like we've already split critical edges, so surely that's fine. This is, wait, anti-fee is a thing. Wait, is that actually a thing? Good idea for people who like white papers, true. You can horizontally scale, that doesn't even make sense. I mean, I guess like maybe. Yeah, it is. That doesn't really make too much sense, I guess. Do you put a fee in your language? Yes. I am not writing Prolog though. Okay, we will give this a try. I think this is the least awful way to do it, which I think ends up being a very frequent consideration. We could also just like, this also means we can kind of just skip fees here if we just like do things correctly. Can you write Prolog? Hell no. Okay, let's extend this out here. So you have like, this goes in instruction. Okay. Oh, what the hell was I doing here? This has been there for too long. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's SI? Oh, I guess I think that makes sense actually. How do you like to design your classes? In a way that works. I do not care beyond that point. I know there were like more formal like fee. Oh wait, is this it? Oh wait, this is actually a thing. Wait, that's really funny. Let's view PDF. Okay. Oh, that's really funny actually. So if you look at what the character actually looks like, it's like multiple branches converging. That's really funny. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so what is this actually? This is interesting. Yeah, okay, this is what SSA is. Sure. Alias verb. It's probably not the thing you want. Yeah, but it's like it's still interesting to think about at least. HSSA, array SSA. Okay, there's so much more for me to learn. I might actually just like take some time some other day to read through everything, but I want to at least like understand what this does, because this is interesting. I've like heard of this before. Okay, sure. Oh, that makes sense. Does this make sense? What is the difference here? Oh, I see. What? Wait. Okay, wait. This doesn't make sense yet. Fees are placed at control flow merge points where each argument flows from. In the SSA representation, all the incoming edges of a fee are merged into a single path. I guess that kind of makes sense. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess that makes, sure, okay. Okay, well that's pretty funny at least, that it kind of exists. Okay. So that is unfortunately distinct from what I want to do, but we'll do something similar here. Can you write your compiler in HTMX? No. there's no elaboration, just no. What is this? I'm trying to figure out how to do SSA destruction in my compiler. So I have like each variable redefinition as its own unique variable, but there is a mess about like differing control flow paths, and we have to like generate a special instruction for that. That doesn't exist, so we need to destroy it at some point, and that is the part of the compiler that I'm working on right now. Anyway, oh, huzzah. Okay. Oh, wait, this is in the essay book, I think. I think SSI is in here. I swear I saw it before. Ah, here it is. Why compiler when AI? Because I am better than AI. Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit. Okay, that let's say base constant propagation. Over approximately some possible values. Okay, sure. Oh, okay. Heh. Live range splitting. Heh. Can you summarize what a compiler does? For instance, when I write code in C. I guess I can give it a try. Let me read through this first, and then I will give it a look. Oh, lattice. I recognize that word. Sigma, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Additional renaming. Okay. That's like annoying. How does the binary executable make a syscall? I think it's just like a specific instruction I could be if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Or is it just a call? Yeah, syscall. Yeah, that's pretty good. Interrupt by done by instruction. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's a pretty funny. That's a pretty funny outcome. I imagine there is just like a specific binary encoding, and it's like sure, whatever. What's good, BM? Happy New Year. Thank you. Happy New Year to you as well. It is not the New Year yet for me. If I move my camera a little bit, you will see it is in fact 2025 still. But Happy New Year's to all of you that are in the future. Okay, anyways. I'm gonna answer the big compiler question now. I haven't given this spiel in a second. But I don't particularly feel like giving the long version, so I will just do a very short version. So you can kind of treat a compiler as like three main parts. There's the front end. I'm just gonna scribble this with mouse. There's the middle end. And then there's the back end. Yeah, so we start with like C code. This is gonna be like really fast because I've like yapped about this a little bit. This does a bunch of like conversion stuff into like sort of pseudo assembly. So it takes all of the stuff that we enjoy working with, like loops, so like for, while, if, etc. It takes all of those, makes them into like just like branch instructions instead. It also does like type checking somewhere here. I'll just like say int as an example. Yeah, it does like type checking. It inserts like all of the implicit conversions, just like it gets rid of all of the niceties we have in a programming language and kind of like starts turning it into assembly. Not necessarily completely assembly, but it does some work in just like, I guess the term is like desugaring. I think it also adds like error checking if I'm not mistaken. So it prevents you from like, I guess it adds like the syscalls for like segfault and stuff. I could be wrong about that but it does like all of that like simplification stuff there. And then the middle end, this is all like optimization. So we have some sort of like IR, which stands for intermediate representation. It like feeds into itself. We do like a bunch of optimization. So like we do stuff like constant folding. So like if you have 1 + 1, we can just get rid of that and then make it 2. It can like pre-compute a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happens with like loops, for instance. So like you can like unroll loops, you can move variables out of loops, so on and so forth. This is where like the majority of the optimization happens. And then eventually it goes into the back end. This is where you just like actually generate assembly. So this is where you turn variables into registers, which is what I'm trying to deal with right now. So reg alloc. You also have like instruction selection because these don't map 1-to-1 onto each other. So let's do like x86, 64 as an example. These don't map 1-to-1 onto each other. So you'll have to do some trickery to clean that up. So that's like instruction selection. There's some other stuff that happens here, like instruction scheduling, so like reordering stuff so that overall, so it's like easier to pipeline / I guess literally schedule. And then there's like some other micro optimizations, and then you have assembly, and then yeah, life is good. So that is broadly what happens when you go from C to x86 64, or I guess C to whatever assembly language you're using. What was the question you're answering? Someone asked what a compiler does, just like overall, like when you're going from C to some sort of assembly. How does the CPU know to treat binary executables a certain way? I'm trying to think what the specific explanation for that is. That's kind of a vague question, I feel like. Like it's just code, right? Like you just, or it's just like everything's data. So like you just run it. Like you literally just run it and call it a day. Is TypeScript compiled or interpreted? Yes. It is. It compiles down to JavaScript by the delete key. How do you think you've improved in these last 126 days? I think I've just like learned a lot more overall. I have a more complete picture of what's going on, and most importantly, I'm better at writing C++. Not great, but at least better. Okay, so let's figure out what to do here. So this is parallel copy. So you want a parallel copy representation of some sort. Explanation did not include the part where you strip the types and turn into JavaScript. Yeah, that is correct. I do not wish to explain that at this instant. Okay, we need to figure out what to do with this. We definitely want type like that. So we can keep like this stuff. I think we wanna change this. What the hell do I do here? I guess, So if we have a parallel copy, if we're inserting a parallel copy, presumably we have already split critical edges, which means that there should just be like one successor, right? Right? I guess by definition, yes, right? Or at least where we would be inserting them. Yes, because a phi has multiple... When we're making a parallel copy, that is in the blocks before a phi, and a phi necessarily has... And a phi is the one that can have multiple predecessors. And that means the edges before must only have one successor if we have split critical edges. Okay, so we can make this mapping really ugly. We can do like value star to value star. So we can do like copies. Yeah, we can just like do that. And like get copies. Maybe that. And then like we can do like set not predecessor. Let's change this. So we want to map successor val to val. Let's do that or something. No, this looks ugly. I guess add copy, set copy. Could have using statements. What do you mean for that? I imagine there's just a piece of context that I overlooked by nature of being a little bit dense at this instant. Okay, so let's copy this over. Where is my phi stuff? There it is. Okay. JavaScript with operator. That's, oh no. Yo, what the hell? Oh, what the why does this exist? Why? Oh no. Ugh. Yo, wait. Yo, what is this? Yo! This is so stupid. Oh god. This so like this reminds me of when I was like first learning how to code. It's just I was like, yeah, we should deduplicate code as much as possible. I think, and then like I eventually matured as a programmer and I was like, maybe we should prioritize readability over strict deduplication. This looks like something I would have written within like my first year of programming, and I would have called it good because I don't like duplicate this somewhere in like the next line. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're gonna close out of that before I explode. Okay, let's paste that. Using successor equals last. Oh, I see. I've done that a little bit in some places. I think. Where was it? I think it was in here. Yeah. So like for these giant types that are not fun to work with. But if it's just like a single type alias, it feels a little bit more towards the bloat end, in my opinion personally. That's the new one. But yeah, it feels a little bit more. It feels like just one additional layer that isn't particularly necessary, in my opinion. We'll figure out what to do with that in a second. Let's clean that up. Okay, let's make this. What is wrong? Oh, I know what's wrong. We can do that. There we go. I need to fix a bunch of other stuff in like 5 minutes probably. Unscopable sounds like a threat. It kind of is a threat, honestly, if you think about it. It's a threat to my sanity. Primogen called it the actual devil. I mean, I think there are worse things. There's that one paper about Python that was about like was it yield? I think it was the thing that like kicks execution to the outer scope, I think. How do I do this up here? Oh, wait. Did I... Wait. I did something with fees the other day. And I didn't deal with that stuff. Okay, wait. I mean, this is parallel copy. We shouldn't be getting to a point where we need it, right? Like... I guess it's nice to preserve def use chains anyway, but like... Why? Okay, wait, this is important. What did I work on last time that messed with this? Or was it in like, fuck. Oh wait, no, it was in construction, I think. So this was fine. Where was it? Wait, actually, where was it? Was it the MemToReg stuff? Oh, okay, I need to clean that up as well. I was under the replace uses visitor thing. Replace uses and fee. Or no, edge splitting? I don't think I changed anything in it for the most part. Oh wait, no. There was a thing. There was a thing in there. Oh, DSA exam in 2 hours? Oh, fun stuff. I think you got it. As long as you did all your prep, I think you're solid. Okay, it was definitely in here. Yeah, I need to update def use here, I think. Okay, we need to throw that in here somewhere. We want fee use pred, I think. Type is pred again. Basic block star. Oh wait. So we should get that. I'm doing a Haskell. True. Okay, let me clean this up real quick. And we're adding. Oh wait, actually, wait. Wait, no, we don't change uses at all, I think. Yeah, no, we don't actually change anything here. Okay, false alarm. Everything is fine. We just change the block. We don't change anything else. Yeah, we just changed the predecessor block. Or I guess we just changed the key, if you think about it in terms of the map. Okay, anyways. What did I do here? I want to steal that stuff. I guess we can look at the stuff up here as reference for the constructor. I guess this is not a... No, this is fine, right? We don't care about type. Right? What are the semantics of this? I guess this is not a value, so this is fine. Actually, we can even just do that, and that's fine. Yeah, this is not a value. It's just an instruction. We don't even do anything with type there. That's fine. We could get rid of the constructor even. This is a boring constructor. Okay. We need a way to do this stuff. So we want copies. Yeah, we should keep def use chains anyway. We want successor value. All right. And delete the use. We want to add use to val. Wait, what? Wait, does this even make sense? These are, yes, these are uses, these are uses. Okay, so we do that, we add use, and then we want like copies, copes, that's me. Copies at successor value equals val. I guess we can make this like fee val. We can do that to be more explicit. Yeah, okay, I like that. Yeah, okay, this makes sense to me. At a glance, at least. We need to fix that, though. Oh, I just pasted out. I just cut into. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's build real quick. I need to. Oh, I need to rebuild some things. Or I need to update some things. There we go. Okay. Two string. It's just two string. Okay, cool. Right? No, we need to. There's so many visitors. Okay. Okay, let's start with that one at least. When we run into the other one, we will run into it. This is not the file I want first. Do that. And do that. We need to make this not awful. Jesus, this is terrible. Okay, let's do value star. Comparator is still fine. We don't care about any of that. What the hell? Oh, I see. Okay, copies. This doesn't exist anymore. So we want parallel. No, we can just do that, I guess. Yeah, we can keep this. Yeah, we can do it like this actually. Let's change this. This is what is the semantics that I want to do here? I guess like second is copied val. This is like uh this is phi val, I think. I can do that. How do we order things in the past? Value putter. So we want like value and then we want putter, sort of. That's how I'm thinking about it. Although it's not a putter, but anyway. What is value to string? Oh, that's what, okay, yeah, sure. Let's go with that. And we want that as well, I think. Why is it basic block? Oh. There we go. Well, this is still ugly, but at least it's less ugly. Alright, we can do that. Oh, there's the next instance. Okay. Erase uses. What the hell do I do here? Okay, wait. Okay, let me think about this. Instructions, when do we... What types of uses do we throw into here? Oh, but there's another use we could care about. Okay, so we wanna... Else we wanna also add use to... Oh, wait. Do we just always add use in some of these? Oh wait, no, we do del use and stuff. Okay. Yeah, so if it contains it, then we want to add phi val. Wait. Yeah, copies at. We could do, if we don't, then we want to add use to phi val. Else we can write it like that, sorta. That's really ugly though. Oh well, I'm never gonna look at this code again, it's fine. Or we could reorder it properly. I like that. Okay, we can do that. So then deleting uses is like really annoying here though. How do we do it for phi there? Oh, I see. Okay. What's good, Niraj? Good to see you. It's been a second. predecessors is to value star. Wait, this doesn't make sense to me. Happy New Year, thank you. I have like 3 hours, but yeah. Let's make parallel copy. Wait, what? Oh, need to update. Okay, this is so much stuff to do here. Check Discord real quick. Okay. Anyways, where was I? Okay, parallel copy. So we made that. So we need to clean this up. Eval. Copy val. What is the end goal for this project? It's a certain piece of code. I guess it should take the subset of C that I am implementing this for, and it should be able to compile and at least match the output, or I guess it should do it correctly, I guess. And then performance-wise, I'm just kind of curious how it's gonna compare to like the mainstream C compilers, which is the only reason I did C. This was a terrible decision. If you're trying to like actually write a compiler for yourself, don't pick C. Just make a language. It's I guarantee it will be a lot less awful experience-wise. What happens if this just gets a? What happens if I do that? Wait. Oh, I see how this works. Okay, yeah, this makes sense. This is very awkward though. Surely this is fine. When do you think someone's C++ knowledge is good? I don't think anyone's C++ knowledge will ever be like quote unquote good. It's just like, it's up to you like how comfortable you feel with it. Like the nice thing about C++ is that like, the nice and awful thing about it actually is that it is so vast that you probably will just never be able to learn all of it, which is like kind of fun in a sense. Like it sucks that like you will never have like total mastery, but at the same time it's just like really cool that like there's always something new to explore. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Like just learn whatever you can. Always keep learning. I think the fine details are important to know because like if you're writing C++, you probably care about performance in some capacity if you're working this close to the metal. And as such, like you will need to know the fine-grained details of you will need to know the fine-grained details because they are performance essential for the most part. What's the time? It is not quite 9 p.m. here, so I have like 3 hours until the new year. Did you take inspo from TCC? No. This is mostly inspired by like the compilers class I took 2 years ago, but I'm kind of just like rebuilding all of that from scratch pretty much. And I'm not really following the course, barring just like what I learned from it previously in terms of like various algorithms, what exists out there, and what I haven't implemented yet. I think I should add copy val multiple times, right? No, this is correct. This is correct. What if JavaScript without React? I think that's I did technically learn like that at first. Like my first like in school experience with code was like with Scratch, but I didn't like the blocks, so I just wrote JavaScript, which I thought was really funny. Had a junior engineer ask if I think learning syntax matters anymore. I mean, it still does insofar as like it lets you focus your energy elsewhere, right? Like in every single activity, there's like the baseline level of like how to do things, and then there's like, and then after you like know how to do things, there's the level of like how to like actually like do things. Like this could be in like sports where like you get good at like the bare mechanics, and then you start thinking about strategy. It could be in school where you learn how to write, and then you start thinking about what you're writing, so on and so forth. I think for the most part, you should at least, I think it's important to at least be comfortable with like at least like 90% of the syntax you'll use on a daily basis. Probably more than that, like 97, 98, arguably. Yeah, Harold's right. All is a little bit difficult, but it's like, yeah, it's still important at least to know a decent chunk of it. Using AI is basically just spending way more time reading code. Yeah. It's slower, and it's also just less fun. Because like, I feel like a lot of people got into programming. Well, the number one reason people got into programming is money. But the second most common reason people got into programming is because they want to build stuff. So, if you're just like reviewing code, you're not really building things anymore, and that just really sucks. That's just my take. Okay, we need to update replace uses. So let's throw this here. This is not the right file. Let's throw that there. Let's just copy that there. Huzzah. Okay, we need to, let's do that. We want, oh wait, this makes a mess actually. Ugh, I don't like that. Okay. We want to, okay, let's do copy val first. That one's easy. Eval, new val. New value. Value. Okay. Okay, now we get to the annoying one, which is changing the key. AI code looks nice until you realize every more general idea along the way was either not good or not done properly. Yeah. It is. I remember back when I watched like Daniel Narodetsky's like chess videos, rest in peace. One of the terms he used in like one of his videos was like mupwa, which is like most popular wrong answer. And I think AI is very, very good at that. I think the Primogen's like, the Primogen's example of like quicksort is a really good example of that, for instance. I looked this up before. Was there a way to do this? There is not a way to do this. Okay. Mupwa, like short for, or acronym for, oh, the quicksort example? Yeah, let's ChatGPT implement quicksort in C++. I believe the problem was that it was not in place, if I remember correctly. Is this in place? Okay, that's TypeScript. Do it in TypeScript. Because I can't read Go, but I can read TypeScript, and we definitely both can read TypeScript. Yeah, I think the problem was that it wasn't in place. But yeah, so this would be rather slow, but let's ask do merge sort now. Yeah, this this makes a bit of a mess. But yeah, that was like his whole example was like it didn't do the sorts in place. And now it does this, which is a lot better, but still. In the past it would not, at least. There was like this, I think there was like another like podcast that the Primogen did, which where he like mentioned like learning a new language and like either it was the correct answer, or it was a wrong answer that everyone else gave. 2026 just hit here. Happy 2026. Happy 2026 to you, Carlos. I've got 3 hours to go, unfortunately. Sorry, I didn't read your message. I know all the basics is that template stuff and move semantics. I think it's hard to say the word all very frequently. But that's like fine. Like I don't really think it matters that much. Just as long as like you're always learning, I think that's a good trajectory to be on. Okay, I need to figure out what the hell to do here with phi-val. Okay. So this is gonna make a mess. So we want okay. To do this in a way that doesn't invalidate the iterator. Is this a thing? How do I just... We'll just std unreachable this for now. as a very lazy way to handle that. Okay, anyways. Never mind the ugly code in the back. Anyways. I wouldn't say all, mostly fits my toolkit. Next plan is to expand. Yeah, that makes sense. Logic error. I could do that, but I'm lazy. So, we'll do that. Try dev LMs write SIMD code. That is, yeah, that is scary. I remember like, one of my friends' like research stuff. It's about like, using LLMs to like, provide hints or like SIMD instruction hints, but I don't really know how that's going. I think it's going well, but I'd have to ask him. When are we gonna start our programming language store? That might be funny. I'll ask again in 2 years. We'll see how I'm doing. Tree gen visitor. Okay. Now we get to like the actual stuff that we care about here. Backend, tree gen visitor. So this is gen trees. You ever look at a picture of Sam Altman and think, wow, this guy sucks ass? I don't need to look at a picture to think that. have this visitor. A working compiler where AI parses and compiles everything to R, then another one to assembly. That's pretty funny. That might be a really funny that might be a funny chain actually. I might do that for like a hackathon. And it would like, and I could claim that like it does like any semantic. Actually, wait. Toad Pond. It would be great for this. It would be great for this wonderful language. I will let you read through this yourselves if you really want, but if you remember Dreambird, it was renamed to Gulf of Mexico. I will leave this in the chat for you, but this would be great. SIMD info thing by Vector Camp. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly. I can close out of this slush. We can close out of that. I almost closed out of OBS for a second. That would have been bad. Okay. So we shouldn't have fees anymore, I think. Or at least we have fees. We kind of just no-op them though, I think. Which is nice. Yeah, we can just make this a no-op. We will just throw this here right now. That's fine. Oh, wait. This one should be empty. Okay, there we go. Much better. We'll be interviewing and like I think we yeah. It's like everyone is. Everyone except for everyone is bought into AI now. It's a really interesting situation to just see how fast everything flipped at least. To do insert copies the correct way. Insert real copies. Actually, let's do that. Okay, cool. So I think that's a reasonable to do. If we look at this stuff that we have here, so this is the resolving parallel copies, I guess. This is where that is done. And then the other one is replacing fees with parallel copies, which I think I will kick the can to next time for, because I'm quite tired. This 1 hour stream thing kind of makes more sense pacing wise for me at least. Let's at least template out the pass at least here. This is in middle end, MIR, or transform actually. Insert parallel copies. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's add. Okay, cool. So that's all of that stuff, and then get add source backend. Add parallel copy instruction to MIR. Let's build it real quick. Fire swap the engineers think they'll use AI instead. Also AWS 2 massive outages within a week. Yeah. Yeah. That's just life, yeah. It's so stupid. It's like companies are banking really big on AI being able to replace workers and cut costs for, or not even companies, just CEOs. They're banking on AI being able to replace a lot of employees, and then obviously when it turns out that people are better at doing people things, it all goes south. How about that? Okay, let's do one more thing real quick. Let's get these pass headers written, and then I think we will call it a day. Let's do that. Programming is dead. Urgent hiring full stack. That's okay. That's actually pretty good. I can't lie. Okay. This is okay. That's good for that. I'm fairly sure. And then we can just like copy that. There we go. This is insert parallel copies. Okay, cool. We could at least add the basic loops here at least. Maybe I should refactor this so that we can also run these at like a function level, maybe, if that exists. All the AI companies are paying 400K for a year for jobs they regularly claim don't exist anymore. That is very real, actually. That never made sense to me, actually. Like, why? Like, how do these companies actually, like, how can they claim? How can they so boldly claim that like AI is taking over and then proceed to pay giant sums of cash for people to do the jobs that they claim are being replaced? It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, okay, so we have that. So per function, we want to go through basic blocks. We can just, for auto basic block, and just get basic blocks. And then I think we could just go like instruction by instruction. And if it's a fee, we just insert in the predecessor, right? Or at the end of the predecessor. Yeah. Yeah, okay, that seems good. Yeah, it's quite crazy. It's all incredible to think about. We'll see what actually happens in 2 years. I'm not really sure when the hype is gonna die down. I don't know if it will ever die down. I hope it dies down. Actually, I hope it dies down in either the next 2 months or it dies down in 2 years, because if it dies down in 1 year, I will be jobless, and that is a big problem for me, selfishly. Needs to be merged into the existing parallel copy? Yes. I'll figure out how to check for that, at least. Okay, so for each basic block, let's just like instruction in basic block, get instructions. We should do this thing as well. Back was a mistake, but hasn't died down. I guess, yeah, but like, at least the hype for it has mostly died down, I feel like. Like, it's kind of just like business as usual now. Okay, so we break if it's fee, then here we want to insert, or if not a fee, so we want to maybe insert, and then we want to add to parallel. Oh, Jesus. do that. I guess update would be the word. Yeah, that seems reasonable enough, actually. Yeah, this looks about right. We should get predecessors like this. Yeah. I missed a brace somewhere. There we go. I need a better way to denest these. This is getting pretty egregious. Do we want unique edges? I guess yes. Yeah, we only wanna add one. Yeah, these edges should have been split already, so this should be fine. That looks good. I don't know. I think this I will just implement next time and then deal with everything later. I'm kind of tired. Yeah, we will leave that at that, I think. And then we do like technically replace the fee, so I think that's fine. I guess we just no-op the fee so we don't do anything with it. Okay. Let's write this. Also, it fails the test because we haven't updated them. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense as to why we are failing them. Start, scaffolding, parallel, copy, insertion. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable place to, I guess, put a bookmark in this and come back to it next time. Thank you all so much for showing up today. I can't English. This is rough. I feel like my outros are always just like really awkward. So yeah, this will be another one of those really awkward outros. If you haven't already, make sure you like the stream and sub to the channel. Also, while you're down there, check out the description. There's a lot of stuff there, such as my Discord, my GitHub sponsors page, and my LinkedIn, and I guess my GitHub. Those are great places to chat with me, stay up to date with what I'm doing, and I guess help support me financially so I can do some other interesting stuff with my content. Yeah, I will keep it at that. I feel like this is dragging on a little bit. Take care, y'all. Take it easy, and and have a wonderful rest of your day wherever you are.